Hi. How are you?
It happened, guys.
37 waiting? Nice.
It happened. What's up, everybody? Paul and Mario here from #Sports. So before we get started, just a programming note now that regrettably the Bill season has met its end. Mario and I are going to go back in the car on the regular. So you still will be able to catch us Saturday morning at 8 a.m. on Sportscaster. That won't be any different. But oftentimes the live streams throughout the season, they're going to be a not as consistent as they are during the live streams during the off season. Not going to be as consistent as they are during the season. So it's going to be a lot of standard like 5, 10, 15, 20-minute episodes. But we're still only going to talk about the stuff that you guys want to talk about. So we are here for you. So we'll get this moving and talk about the obvious, right?
Yeah, I'm just.
What the hell happened? 22-3. Once the Bills maintained the lead, this game turned into a 22-3 game.
Ray boot reel. Let's talk about in OT how we didn't run the ball. It was likely every play was a throw. Why no rush? Bad play calling. Allen running when we have Singletary.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
When the schedule next year playoffs are going to be really hard.
Well, the schedule next season is going to be significantly harder than it was this year. But the truth is that we jokingly, we're talking about in overtime, it's not illegal to run the football, right? It's not illegal to run the football in overtime. Bills didn't even attempt.
No, they didn't. They didn't at all. And it was tough to see some things that were working, and they got away from those things. It's like, and the things that were working, they didn't use those to set up other things.
Right.
It's like. He had, and I can't remember who said it or where I saw it or what was going on, but individuals were talking about how, they don't script plays. It seemed like the entire first drive was scripted, and you were able to do it.
Yeah.
But what did you learn from that drive that you brought into the second, third, fourth quarter? And I didn't see any of that. It was like, okay, I want to try to run this. Mm-hmm. Okay, I want to try to run this. Now Dable is free to go to his interview tomorrow with Cleveland.
That's always bothered me about this process, right? When playoff coordinators also have interviews scheduled, that's always bothered me about this process. I want to get to a couple comments that I saw right away.
Yeah.
James Payson says Duke drops lost us the game, plain and simple. I don't necessarily agree with that, although he did have some balls thrown his way that could have changed the pace of the game. I wouldn't say that he lost the game. Gregory Man 11, I'd like to blame the refs, but we beat ourselves. I think that's a great way to put that. It's real easy to get mad about the way that this game played out from the Zebras on the field. But the fact of the matter is you have an Allen intentional grounding, which was absolutely intentional grounding. Yes. You had the Allen shuffle pass that Dawson Knox knocked out of bounds that could have changed the game. There were a bunch of things out there that happened that you can't necessarily attribute to the refs. Although the refs contributed to what was a very frustrating piece of this game. I'm going to say this now, and I'm going to probably end up repeating this. You do not win games scoring only one touchdown. You did not win a playoff game only scoring one touchdown.
One more time.
Yeah, no, I'm done. I don't want to say it again. So that's where I am with this.
Patriots won a Super Bowl scoring one touchdown.
Yeah, that's the Super Bowl. I said the playoffs.
Oh, sorry.
I said the playoffs. And Richard Forbes, how many chances do we have to win this game? We had a lot, and you kicked a bunch of field goals. You kind of laid on your laurels and you kicked a bunch of field goals. And and the times when you could have used Devin Singletary, you forgot he was on your team, and that was frustrating.
I harken back in between the time when the game ended from when we came here. I reminded Paul of something that was said to us. When the Bills were 6-10 last year, we covered this team all year. We gained more people to the #Nation, and it's been nothing but awesome, fun ride. A lot of people said though the precise words were, "You know what? You guys made it worth going through the season, even though it was a tough season." If you believe in that, believe in this. It's not any one player. It's not anyone. The most disheartening thing that goes on with this game today was that it was very winnable. A lot of times throughout the years, when Bills fans go and they lose a game, that team is just better than ours. Why can't we have that? And I think the thing is, because I saw a couple things in there. Cody Ford needs to go. This guy needs to go. Allen's awful. Dave will get out of here, and all this other stuff. And I understand that thought process. Everyone is angry. Everyone is upset. Most of all, disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
I totally get it. However, you got to look on the other side of this.
Sure.
Tomorrow, okay?
Yep.
Imagine it's tomorrow right now, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The Bills season is over. It was a heck of a ride. They won 10 games. They made the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
You saw strides in the offense. That
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about before today. They won on Thanksgiving. They won a playoff game and a night game in Pittsburgh that you had to win.
They won primetime games, which they didn't even really have at the start of the season.
Yeah. So you talk about all this other stuff. I echo all the sentiments of feeling disappointed, upset, because the Bills, this was a very winnable game.
Mm-hmm.
However, starting to throw people under the bus, I think, is the wrong decision right now. Even though you might want to. Cody Ford's penalty, Josh Allen's grounding, some of Brian Dable's play call, the defense not standing up, a 3rd and 18 that goes for a first down. It's all these things wrapped into one that you just get so freaking frustrated. Like, how could the Bills not win this game after they had so many things in there? You got to take a breath.
Mm-hmm.
The kid's first playoff game. Maybe it was too big for him. Okay?
He looked terrified at times.
I mean, other than the script in the beginning, on the first drive, it looked like he was puzzled. It looked like things were being thrown at him. Mm-hmm. He had Romeo Crennel, who has 3 Super Bowl rings. Let's remember that as a defensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm. I
know you want to say maybe it's Belichick. That's fine. Matt Patricia has 3. I understand that.
Words right out of my mouth.
I know, right?
Words right out
The
of my mouth.
thing that gets me is that, okay, listen, they have made, and I said this on the broadcast this morning, this team is ahead of schedule. They shouldn't really have made the playoffs this year.
I disagree with that.
Their defense was good enough to make the playoffs.
Yeah, that's why I disagree with that.
Okay, all right. That's fine.
You have a makeshifft group on offense, right?
It's the first time this whole line is played together.
It's frustrating when you get to the playoffs and then you lay down in the 3rd and 4th quarter, right? That's effectively what happened. But the truth of the matter is, at the beginning of the season, we got all this money to spend. When have you ever seen a team go out and completely rebuild an entire offensive line and they make the playoffs? There's some perennials that often do it. Like the Patriots seem to always be able to find offensive linemen. But most other teams aren't capable of doing that. So the one thing that gets me a little bit is some of the players that we're going to talk about leaving the Buffalo Bills in 2020, where this was possibly the last game. Let's look at that real quick. Jordan Phillips, possibly his last game as a Buffalo Bill. Lorenzo Alexander is retiring. Kevin Johnson is just on a 1-year deal, so he is likely gone next season. Shaq Lawson, Quentin Spain, Frank Gore, Corey Legit, obviously, Dean Marlowe, Isaiah McKenzie, Jason Kroom, Robert Foster, Levi Wallace. These are all guys who this is the final year of their contracts. Now, of course, Robert Foster, Jason Kroom, Levi Wallace, Isaiah McKenzie fall into a little, well, not Isaiah McKenzie, but Jason Kroom, Robert Foster, Levi Wallace fall into a little bit of a different category. They sign 1-year deals every year. But you're looking at a team that, while you're losing Jordan Phillips, who I didn't see much today. You tell me, did I miss something? Because he was great all season. I saw more Ed Oliver than I saw Jordan Phillips today, and maybe that's just a flash. But am I wrong there?
For
believing that Jordan Phillips was a disappointment today.
Well, you start to talk about how was Hughes and Murphy able to get sacks? How were those things happening? Because the middle was bottled up. He couldn't run up the middle.
Right.
So could you say in that respect they did their jobs? I didn't see Stark too much today either.
No.
Okay. Well, Texans couldn't run the ball.
Right.
That's another
they
thing.
didn't even,
they didn't even try.
They didn't even try. They didn't even try.
I don't know. Marlowe said something that we sound pathetic. I don't know if that was intentional for us or he was talking to somebody else.
Yeah, I get why people are going to be upset by this whole process, right? Yeah. This is not the easiest thing. We're not used to this, right? No. I guess it's a very fair way to say that we're not used to this. We have a ton of cap space for next season, but I wasn't ready to move on to next season yet.
I was not. No.
I was fully believing the fact that the Bills were going to be playing again next week.
I was very
no
confident.
doubt. And after the first drive, the script looked great. Buffalo was moving the ball. I felt very confident that things were going to work out for Buffalo today. I really did. And I just simply don't know what's going to happen. I saw some terrifying things from Allen today, like big red flags. Not like I wish you would have made this read. I saw some major red flags today that hurt me a lot. And honestly, I know everybody wants to talk about Duke Williams. He made a couple great catches, and then there were some other catches. There were some other opportunities that I think were kind of missed. Where do I put those? I don't really know. I see Brittany. Brittany, I see your comment. You mentioned it 5 or 6 times in the chat. Is there even a point talking about players in the game? The only topic should be the refs in the league, if it's even fair play. We could talk about the refs all night long. We could wax poetic about the refs. I don't have any interest in blaming the referees for this game. The Bills had opportunities. They didn't get taken away by penalty. They created a lot of their own problems. So I could tell you, for one, I'm not going to entertain a lot of conversation about the refs blowing this game for the Bills. There are things that are there. The delay of game penalty was absolutely a problem that should have been delay of game. But some of the other stuff were the blindside block. I mentioned it was questionable. But again, the letter of the law says that could be interpreted that way. I'm not going to entertain a lot of conversation about whether the refs were a problem today. I mean, the Bills had enough opportunity to win this football game. I don't think the refs stole that opportunity from them.
Yeah, Hoffman's, he just comes in. We blew a 16-0 lead. Let's not talk about the refs.
Yeah.
Usually, it's like I told Paul a little bit ago. It seems like this team lacks the closing instinct.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, we got a team down. Let's finish it off.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we just throwing the car into neutral and being like, okay, let's go to coast to the finish line? That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
Right.
What you have to do is you have to keep doing what works. Running the ball with Devin Singletary today was working. It was effective. He was getting good yards per carry. Although he had to make a couple guys miss sometimes in the backfield.
You got to be optimistic about Devin Singletary. There's no way you can walk away from this game and not feel good about Devin Singletary. It's just no way.
It says that Morse missed block was key. Derek Robinson. I think that was more on Knox. Knox just let the guy go by him and he just stuck his hand
we're
out.
talking about in the drive where Allen cleared out on the right. Yeah, cleared out to the right near the end of the game. That
Singletary was great, but I didn't know why they didn't happen to go back to the run. I didn't know why they didn't try to expose a secondary that was pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems like the offense plays down to their competition. And they're like, okay, if I had to see one more sideline shot at J.J. Watt when the Texans offense was on the field. Now, those are semantics you can get upset about. And I would get upset about that even if the Bills won.
Mm-hmm.
But the bottom line here is this. The Bills had a 16-point lead, the best team that they've had in 20 years. And they lost. A game that they shouldn't have lost. You can be 175,000% upset about losing a game that you had. That's fine. Okay? Refs didn't take it away from you. It wasn't all the play calling.
Mm-hmm.
It was in the execution. Okay? Because there were missed tackles. There were missed throws. Were there some penalties that killed drives? Yeah. But what's different than what you had seen for the first 16 games of the year? Mm-hmm. They've had plays that killed drives. Those are the things they need to clean up. They didn't clean those up. Who do you put that on?
So, Orban McConico says this team is young. We need veteran leadership. Rico Ali says, but this just shows Dable's play calling is problematic. Joyful Isabel says missed catches. So it's kind of a combination of a lot of that stuff, right? So when we talked about players that are leaving, your starting guard in Quentin Spain is likely going to be gone at this point.
You think so?
Yeah, probably.
The guy didn't allow a sack.
I think you have to look at across the line. What are you going to do? I don't think you're going next year with Quentin Spain. I think
you're looking at
out. I think
he's on a 2-year deal.
Niseki, because of injury. I mean, Cody Ford scared me at times today.
Lorenzo announced his retirement.
Yeah, he had announced that a little while ago. Niseki and Ford both kind of scare me a little bit on their kicks outside. So I think they're still in the guard market. I'm not sure they're out of the tackle market right now.
Well, a very intriguing piece, and Paul's looking at it right now, is the fact that you IR'd a 1-year deal in Adrian Waddle.
Yeah, super weird,
you could've
right?
cut him.
Normally you don't IR a
guy that's on a 1-year deal. You don't usually do that. However,
especially
unless he's a restricted free agent or exclusive
no, he's
rights.
not. But that's
he's
the
not.
Thing. Adrian Waddle, when he was placed on IR, was ineligible to be reactivated.
Yeah,
So
so
you
they're
paid
like,
him the
we're
whole season.
hanging on
Right.
to this guy. It's going
Right.
to cost us nothing. But you look at what's on the horizon for the Bills that they haven't had for the past 20 years.
Mhm.
You got a quarterback, now albeit, aside from today, I'm going big picture here. I'm just not talking about today. I'm going big picture. You got a quarterback that has all the physical tools that you could use in any type of offense. He could play Air Coryell. He could play West Coast. He could run Greg Roman's offense if you needed him to. You think it's funny? I think he can. I think he could. So that's what you have there. You have a lot of young talent on the defense. It's not going to stay young forever, but you do have young talent. They didn't whiff on Kevin Johnson like they did Vontae Davis the year before.
You know, I can't be mad about Kevin Johnson. Kevin Johnson stepped up and played really well.
I was a fan of Kevin Johnson and that signing, and they did that. One thing that Frazier and McDermott could do, they could scout corners. I will give them that. You got Milano and Edmonds who are still on rookie deals, but you got to sign Milano.
Right.
That's something you have to do. You have a ton of cap space. You have some pretty decent draft capital. And you have some free agents that you could sign, and you can sign other guys for down the line.
Right.
Trey, Milano, if you're sold on Dawkins, that's fine.
Right.
So you have all of these things in place that you didn't have for 20 years. Big picture here, I'm not upset. Right in the moment, you let a game get away.
Right.
And it was a game that was very winnable. And you said red flags about Allen. I 100% agree with you on that because there were some things that he was doing that a quarterback shouldn't do. If you're in field goal range, you don't take a sack. That's rule 1. We're in field goal range. We're down 3. It's over 2 minutes. Just over 2 minutes. I can't take a sack here. As a play caller, I have to dial up something quick to him. I have to realize that the entire flipping year, they have been blitzing on third down.
Yeah, it's been written in stone that teams are going to blitz you on third down with this offense. Like it was going to happen.
Stefan, thank you, buddy. You take it easy.
Mitchell disagrees with you. He says you can't blame him on that sack. Singletary completely whipped on the block and he didn't even have a second.
Throw it at his feet. Throw it at Singletary's feet.
Well, he tried that.
No, he threw it right. Singletary's on the left
side.
So
yeah,
you just...
Yeah. Tough game, top to bottom.
I mean, that's my thought.
Dave C says Poyer was horrible. He's been exposed. I think they were asking Poyer to play down in looks that... Yeah, and you leave... I get the looks that they were trying to give, but I don't really think that's his strength.
Orban, can we move Sierra Neal to linebacker?
I don't think he's big enough to play linebacker.
Not right now.
I don't think he's big enough to play linebacker.
Not right now. He's big enough. He's not big enough now. But you're losing Alexander.
So the play that got the Texans within field goal range, right? Let's just briefly talk about that just for a second.
The missed sack.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So what ended up happening was you want to give credit to Watson for escaping certain death, but the fact of the matter is 2 Bills players hit him going opposite directions.
That was atrocious.
It
was dialed up right. That should have been a sack.
It should have been a sack. It was a great call.
There's probably 25 quarterbacks in the NFL that get sacked there.
Probably more than that.
Starters, I'm saying.
Probably more than that.
You think so?
Yeah. I think there's probably only 4 quarterbacks that get out of that.
Watson, Newton, Jackson.
I wouldn't put Newton in that category
anymore. You don't think Newton gets out of there? He's a monster.
Not anymore, dude. Not anymore.
He's still a monster.
You see the pants he wears at press conferences?
I'm not fashionista.
Ankles this big.
I'm not a fashionista.
Yeah, no.
He's still 270. He's a big dude.
Yeah. So it was the right call, but again, you have to take chances.
Yes.
You got to go win the football game. I think that's one thing that's frustrating for Bills fans is McDermott wants to win the game with his defense. But how many times did the defense score points this year?
None. Did they have any pick sixes? Did they have any fumbles returned for touchdowns? They had the Jerry Hughes one in Cleveland I got called back.
Yeah, they had the onside kick where you classify that special teams touchdown.
That's special teams.
Right.
So they didn't have any defensive scoring. They just said, listen, we could hold them down, which I guess gives you a false narrative of the team. Hey, listen, our defense didn't score, yet we won 10 games, and our offense wasn't really good. So our defense just stops people. I'm going to rely on that. Now, I'm not going to lie. I have more confidence in the defense stopping somebody than the offense going down the score. But this offense went right down the field after having the ball at the 3 and went down and scored before halftime.
Tom Talk says 3rd and 18 did it for us. That 3rd and 18 in overtime. Now, truth be told,
so
defensive players, there were 4 of them on the field, had their hands in the air, pointing at the play clock. So
yes,
they didn't
but
get
you
off
still
on
got
the
to
snap,
play.
but you still got to play the down. And Tywan Jones, man.
Tywan Jones
All
getting
players.
tackled by Kevin Johnson.
Yeah, former Texan tackling a former Bill.
In the wrong direction.
Brutal.
They took a touchdown away. Yeah, that the thing where the guy in the kick return, he gave himself up. I mean, I don't know the official rule on that. He just tossed it, and the ref called it a touchdown, and then it was called back.
Simpson Spring said Allen gave the defense the game to win. What ended up happening? So why the Texans were able to start moving the football on Buffalo was the fact that you had 2 consecutive 3-and-outs, one via fumble, one via punt. But you gave your defense no time to rest, and Houston started eating up clock and started putting drives together, and that defense got pretty gassed out, especially when Milano and Edmonds and Trey and Kevin Johnson basically never left the field, nor did Poyer and Hyde. They were on the field the whole game. Those are the guys that got tired. The defensive line is one, but those guys were exhausted. You can't go back-to-back 3-and-outs. You just can't do that. It's not an option when you have a defensive team.
Yeah, a lot of people are coming in the chat about it's the new you had 9 new faces on the offense.
Yeah.
And you won 10 games.
Yeah.
A lot of that was due to the defense. I'm not blind enough to realize that, but I know a lot of it. If we were to assign blame, because that's the thing, I guess you want to assign blame to some of these the offensive woes and the defensive. You know what I mean? I guess I would go 70-30 Allen to Dable.
So let's back that up real quick.
I just want to say, as far as over, remember now, I'm taking the broad scope of the entire season.
I know you are.
Today, it would probably be higher in Allen's corner.
That's what I want to make sure is that we're not judging. We're not weighting today more than
the
rest
rest
of the season.
No, I'm not.
So to speak to the people that said we need to run Singletary more, let's just level set, right? Singletary carried the ball 13 times for 58 yards. That's 4.5 a clip. But he also caught 6 of 7 targets for 76 yards. So Devin Singletary quietly had himself 130 all-purpose yards today.
Which is why I don't understand why he wasn't involved. You know what he was involved
But
when
you
the
can't
Bills
see
were
he wasn't
driving?
involved. Like, he touched the ball almost 20 times. 13
He had
carries,
6 receptions,
7 targets.
But here's the thing: this game went into
20
overtime. Now,
he didn't touch the
for
ball.
the game to go into overtime, you used him just you used him just to chip on Watt. He never looked at him.
No, he was just there to help. Duke Williams, on the other hand, 4 receptions on 10 targets.
10 targets.
10 targets for Duke Williams.
I mean, he had his opportunity, the one where he had his arm grabbed and it was not called. Like you said, in the end zone. That's the jump ball that you're talking about.
But that's one of those things that it could have been reviewed and it wasn't. It was inside 2 minutes, so you can't review it. So you can't challenge it. That's plain and simple. Can't challenge it. And John Brown, 8 targets, 4 receptions, 50 yards. So they shut down John Brown. Like, that's...
No, he gets 50 every game. That's what he does.
Yeah, but not only on 4 receptions.
No.
So it was shut down safe.
But how does this... See, here's what I don't understand. How does a defense that's 29th against the pass now become a team that can lock you down? Is this because you don't have a bona fide one? Did they bring in Duke Williams to see if they needed to have a bona fide one? Did they think that they weren't going to run or pass the ball that much? Like they were going to run it? I don't understand.
I don't know, dude. There was a lot to take in.
I said
I don't think I'm alone when I say there was a lot to take in.
I said it many times, and I'll do the film reviews and all that stuff, and all that stuff's going to be coming back for you guys, #Nation. But Allen's form, technique on everything he did today was just, maybe he was off his spot, maybe he was on the run. That's different. But when he was in the pocket and had a clean pocket, his form was atrocious.
Yeah.
It was those are some of the things that I don't like. The pitch, the lateral. That's a kid that wants this game to be over. You throw a jump ball to DeMarco.
I don't understand that, especially when Duke had cleared the safety already. So we're talking about the jump ball into double coverage to DeMarco. He threw a couple times deep to DeMarco.
I mean, how many times should this game have been over?
He threw 3 times deep to DeMarco today.
I think that's what worries me.
Twice.
In the long run, that's what worries me.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't understand that. It's like he wanted the game to be over. Now, we could split hairs on if the Bills are going to attempt a 55-yarder after Allen tried to jump over somebody. And then they
called it personal foul.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah. Well, since there is 120 of you watching live now,
yes.
I do want to put in the chat. This is the giveaway link for the autographed Trey White Goalie Academy helmet. I did add it to the description.
Oh, okay.
So it's in the description of the video as well. So this is your opportunity to win. I know, I added it all myself. The autographed Trey White Goalie Academy helmet, which I have right here. This contest is going to run. You can enter daily for the autographed Trey White Goalie Academy helmet. The thing about this is, since it is daily entry, you can do it as many times as you'd like. But with that being said, the giveaway is going to end at kickoff of the Pro Bowl. So that's when entries will stop. So you'll actually be able to enter all the way until the Pro Bowl. So you're welcome to do that whenever. It's a pretty awesome thing, man. It's pretty awesome. So let's say you're Sean McDermott. You're walking into the locker room. Terry Pagula comes downstairs right now and says, the offense lost this game today. We need to determine now whether it's your player or your staff. Tell me which is the answer right now. Terry Pagula is standing right in front of you and he says, we'll go whatever direction you say, but is it the quarterback that lost the game? Was it your scouting department that lost the game because he didn't get you enough offensive weapons? Right? Mm-hmm. Do you think this is Brandon? Is this Brandon Bean? Or was this your offensive coordinator?
Let me add a curveball.
Oh, God, okay.
If Dable takes the job in Cleveland, can you determine it was the players? Because he doesn't believe. Because if you're here and you think that this team has big things on the horizon, you still got a young, talented defense. You got a young offense. Mm-hmm. If he thinks that this may be the team that catapults him to a Super Bowl, he'd stay. You think he'd stay? Because it'll be his third year. He hasn't spent. This is the first time he spent 2 years in the same place.
But that's what I'm saying. Why you leave that job? Because it's just a matter of time before you're going to get canned. He's only ever been offensive coordinator. He's never been a consecutive season offensive coordinator.
My point is this. If you have the players in place that could cover some of your mistakes with their talent, why wouldn't you want to say that? Now, we could split hairs on if you're going to compare Cleveland's talent offensively to...
Sure.
Yeah, and you could say, hey, listen, there's more talent over there to cover up my mistakes. I want to be a head coach anyway. I'm going to go. But that could be one of the telling signs. If he stays in Buffalo... then you could say what it was. If he leaves, then it's going to be the players.
Bills fan 7883 says it's just cover zero. Allen is pretty good against everything else, but he's so bad against the defenses. They don't have to be diverse. Dable doesn't help him either. It's just poor all the way around. I think there's a lot of different ways that you can look at this how you want to look at it. If you want to be mad at Brian Dable, I think there's enough to be mad at Brian Dable about it. If you want to be mad at Josh Allen, there's enough to be mad at Josh Allen about it. If you want to be mad at Brandon Bean for having a makeshift offense, right? A custom-built makeshift offense this offseason, I think there's enough to be mad about that. So there's a lot of different directions that you can take this.
Now listen,
I remember old-fashioned trousers. I blame Paul for his fanatical support of Dable all through the early season, which did not happen.
Paul, who's that offensive coordinator you like again? Can I say it?
Go ahead.
Jim Bob Cooter.
I love Jim Bob Cooter.
Jim Bob Cooter. He's the running backs coach for the Jets right now. Mm-hmm. Donnie Burke says, explain why DeMarco's running deep routes. I said, I can't, Donnie. I just can't. It wasn't that I can't physically. I just don't know.
I don't know why.
Why? Usually you have guys that run clearing routes. Why are you going to have your fullback run a clearing route?
Right.
Let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. How much different is the complexion of this game if TJ Yeldon is active?
No. I'm not going there.
No? Why?
No, I'm not going there.
Why?
No.
He's got more of a similar skill set to Singletary than Gore does. No? Okay. All right, fine.
Lee Smith plays a lot because you're worried about the pass rush. They really were worried about this Houston pass rush. I don't know why.
But you threw a pass to Lee Smith.
Saw a lot of Lee Smith today.
Why was I saw Lee Smith and DeMarco more than 10 yards downfield.
Mm-hmm.
That's not supposed to happen.
Yeah, it was very tough. 585 Farmy says, if anything, Duke Williams proves he deserves to be on the field every week. Bye Robert Foster.
Neither one of those guys cost you any money, though. Be honest.
That's right. Yeah, none of them cost.
They don't cost.
They're both likely on the Bills next season, going into the preseason. So. I can't imagine the Bills walking away from Robert Foster unless he's just a tire fire off the field.
Yeah, I don't think
because they've got contractual control of him next season.
Yeah, just really quick, there's 3 types of contracts you can have in the NFL. If you don't have 4 years of service in the NFL, you become either a restricted free agent or exclusive rights free agent.
Right.
Once you serve 4 years, which means that's 6 games, or you're on the practice squad. That's an accrued season. Mm-hmm. Then, after 4 years, you become an unrestricted free agent. That's when you can sign with anybody. But what happens is if you're a restricted free agent, they put a tender on you. First, second, or original round drafted. Mm-hmm. And if a team claims you, they get that draft pick. If not,
so
you get a league minimum
who would be
contract.
a good example of that? Who did we lose?
We lost Mike Gillislee.
Gillislee, that's what it was.
So he was originally drafted in the 5th round. New England claimed that and took him. They gave the Buffalo Bills their 5th round pick, which ended up turning out to be Milano.
Right.
So they ended up claiming him. If he didn't want to go or any of that, I think Chris Hogan was claimed too. The same year that they put a 5th on Gillislee, they put a 2nd on Groy because they didn't have center depth.
Right.
So no one claimed Groy.
Right.
And he got a 2nd round draft pick salary.
Right.
That was his deal. They average out the 2nd round picks. That's what he got. So in that respect, that's what happens.
Yeah. Tough.
Mario, hold on, Paul. I can explain this.
Yeah.
I learned it from him.
That's true. This is the monster that I've created. Yes. That's fine.
You're not always here, so I have to do stuff.
That's true. I think there are some positives to take from this game, right?
Yes.
They built a young team. For the most part, most of the offense is coming back next season. Whether you believe Dable is the answer or not. I do want to just throw out there that Chad O'Shea, who was the offensive coordinator down in Miami, was let go because he's one of the few guys that runs the EP system that's in the league. He is now looking for a job. So if Dable were to go someplace, Chad O'Shea makes a lot of sense to go with him, one. Or Chad O'Shea makes a lot of sense to bring into Buffalo if you're looking on making Ken Dorsey the OC. But remember, if you're talking about changing Brian Dable as your offensive coordinator, I think this is very, very important for you to understand. He runs a system that nearly nobody in the NFL runs because it's so complicated.
There's about 5 teams.
And it's a super complicated system.
Joe Flacco ran it. Peyton Manning ran it. New England runs it all the time. It's starting to seep into other.
Some of the concepts are starting to seep in. But to run the system in its entirety, it's a very, very complicated system. So if you're looking at exiting Brian Dable, you're looking at having to install a brand new system in because it is most likely you're not going to be able to find somebody that supports the EP system. So that's a tough one. You got to make your decision. Are you going to install a brand new offensive system for Josh Allen? May not be the worst idea in the world, but if you're going to look at getting rid of Brian Dable, that's really what you need to do.
So crazy. Crazy.
The Bills?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm talking this.
They're not paying anyone.
No, I'm talking about I'm on overthecap.com. I just want to give you guys how this team is set up. Devin Singletary, Harrison Phillips, Dawson Knox, Teron Johnson, Vincent Taylor, Siran Neal, Corey Thompson, Jaquan Johnson, Daryl Johnson, Tommy Sweeney, Voshan Joseph, Duke Williams, and Ryan Bates. 13 guys making under $1 million next year.
Yeah, I believe that.
Okay, a lot of those are rookie deals because that's how it works. But then Milano and Dawkins are the only 2 guys that are making under $1 million, but they have to re-sign them, or they could re-sign them.
Sure.
But they're making under $1 million. I mean, they've built a lot of young pieces of this team that maybe, winning is learned. That's a learned habit. You got to learn how to win, learn how to close games. I think a lot of the problems that happened this year with the Buffalo Bills and some of the losses they had, they will learn from that. They'll definitely learn from a game like this, saying we're not letting anything get away from us again. You mean Pat Shurmur talking about old-fashioned trousers?
Former Giants coach.
Yeah. He said, "Do you need Bill Parcells?"
Oh God, no! Keep Bill Parcells away from me.
Pat Shurmur was fired from the New York Giants, right?
Yep, sure was. Pat
Excellent.
Shurmur as an offensive
I
coordinator.
love him as a play caller, but I don't know the relationship there.
Yeah. You never know. You never know.
You might
these
know
guys become
that
head
him and
coaches,
McDermott
yeah,
might have
that's
a few laughs about Gettleman.
That's probably true.
I don't know.
That's probably true.
But Pat Shurmur, this is the reason. There's a few different dynamics here. Pat Shurmur, which was the head coach of the New York Giants, he was a play caller in Minnesota when Cousins was able to get that contract. So he was able to have a very good day, a very successful season that year. Love him as a play caller and a coordinator. Sometimes those guys aren't fit to be head coaches. You talked about Freddie Kitchens. When he was the OC, he was allowed to just focus on that. And Baker had a pretty good second half of the season.
Yeah.
Some of these guys could be coordinators. Not all of them could be head coaches.
Yeah.
Because you're more press secretary at that point. You have to balance out the game. You have to know the flow of a game, how it's going. If you're a coordinator, you're just worried about, okay, I'm a defensive coordinator, I have to stop him. These are my tools to stop him. I'm an OC, I got to find a way to get guys open to get them the ball in the end zone. If you're a head coach, you have to be the overseer of how the game flow goes. Hey, are we 4-down territory?
Well,
are we blitzing on this? Are we playing pre-vet?
It got scary when it got to the 4th and forever, where the Bills went on the 4th and forever at the end of the game. That whole series of nonsense on the sideline was concerning because it looked mismanaged. Right?
It was mismanaged.
They got a 12 men on the field penalty, which is crazy.
I'm listening. I got something from the chat that's pretty funny that I have to do for you. Go ahead. 12 men on the field.
You got 12 men on the field. This was post the intentional grounding penalty. You go for it in that scenario. The personnel I didn't really understand. Like there was just a lot.
It looks like a lot of the Bills didn't understand either.
Well, it looked like a big mess. What are you doing?
Don't worry about it, Paul. Just keep talking.
God, look at this guy. See what I have to live with?
You don't live with me.
It feels like I live with you sometimes.
Oh my God, I hate you so much.
God. Anyway.
We got a message from somebody in the chat, and it aroused my curiosity.
Can you not use the word aroused in my presence, please?
Okay, I won't. But
DLC bromance.
No. Someone said that Paul already looks like an OC, so I'm curious if it works.
There we go, guys. There we go.
That's my gaming headset, by the way. So, yeah. Wow. Holy cow. Here, put this in front of your mouth.
Hold on. Wait. Give me a second.
You're a mutant. You're a freaking mutant. Oh my God. Paul for OC. Chain Gain. That's freaking phenomenal. You should wear that. That's a gaming headset, bro.
Woo!
I don't know. I think I would be more like Patricia. Let me see. I'm more of a Matt Patricia guy. What do you think? He's always got the pencil in there. I didn't have a pencil, but yeah. So, I mean, the Bills got a lot of things to fix. They really do. But they already have. Do you trust Bean?
From a player personnel standpoint, I have to say yes.
Okay. Do you trust McDermott?
I have to say yes.
Game management this year, didn't like it.
Here's where I differ. Do I trust him being able to find players with a skill set that helps the team? Yes.
Okay.
Do I trust the ability? Do I think he gives his coaches too much ability to do whatever they want?
Yes.
Also yes.
Okay.
Right. From a personnel standpoint, I think he can put the right people on the bus, but I think he lets his coordinators do whatever they want from a personnel standpoint, and that I have a problem with.
I trust Frazier.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't trust Dable. There's a reason Dorsey was here for that reason.
Right.
And now you start to talk about Dable's getting. Sorry. Dable's getting head coaching, offers and stuff like that. So I don't know. This was comfortable because I can't really hear you. So I don't know if I feel like an offensive coordinator on the sideline or the pit boss in Days of Thunder.
Have you ever seen Days of Thunder?
You're not dropping the hammer, Cole.
Okay, there we go. You have seen Days of Thunder.
I have seen the Days of Thunder.
Yeah,
but, it's... Today was the wrong day to stop DLC. Anything. This is the wrong day to stop anything. Today was the right day to try to stop the Texans, but it just didn't happen. But, I mean, just to give everyone a preview, if you're a new subscriber to Hashtag Nation, you're watching this, thank you guys. You know, we love you guys. We're not ending the stream yet, but I just want to tell you guys this. Paul and I, there's a draft show coming up. We do in-depth analysis.
Oh, yeah.
Anything
you need.
Anything you guys ask us about, we'll research and we'll look up and we'll try to give you our best analysis of it. Hey, Mario, this guy from Clemson, I heard it was okay. All right. Paul and I will do a show about it. We have different types of shows for everything. We talk about the offense on shows. We talk about the defense on shows. We talk about potential draft picks. We talk about salary cap moves. We talk about free agency. Yeah. We do all of that stuff. We have a rapid fire segment, so if we actually don't, there's a lot of questions that we don't get to, or that wouldn't be like a whole episode. We throw those in an episode, and it's like 15, 20 questions in one episode. Right. Our episodes during the year, they're a lot shorter than what you guys deal with during the season. Right. I mean, we usually have like 10 to 15 minute shows. In the car, talking about the Bills, doing what we do. So if you're a new subscriber, the format changes a little bit, but I'm still gonna hold on to the Wednesday stream for you guys, because the live streams, I love getting the live feedback from you guys. Paul and I will still do that, whether it's him or me or both of us. We're still gonna do those things. But for those the usual suspects that have been with us since day one, they know that the car episodes are the ones that we do the most of. Right. And that's usually so now from this Saturday up until the season starts again. And plus we have a lot of special guests on our shows. We're doing that we do the draft show with Rock Sports Network, where we break down we actually cover the draft. So if you don't want to watch Kuiper and his blown out hair, you can watch us. So
yeah, and we give
it's pretty awesome.
It's Bills coverage.
It's Bill centric. Yeah. So it's anything you want. How does this draft pick for the Eagles affect the Bills? Well, that could have been a guy that they were going after, and all this other stuff. So I just want to throw that out there and tell you guys that the format of Hashtag Sports goes back to what you guys are used to in the car in those shorter episodes.
So question to you. Do you think Bean and McDermott are both too offensive minded? Orvin mentions it in the chat. Do you think they're both too defensive minded? They don't have enough strong offensive minds in the room?
I don't think they do. That could have been one of the reasons for Dorsey. That could have been one of the reasons.
Well, Dorsey doesn't have exactly a resume.
No. Either Dorsey was brought in case Dable left, and they needed some familiarity with Allen, or he wasn't communicating all the finer points of the offense to the team, and he needed a mouthpiece to do that. So Dable could call down and tell Allen what to do. You saw him earlier this year. He was like yelling at Allen on the sidelines for throwing a pick. You know, it sounded like a disappointed father, bringing his kid to the Buffalo Zoo. I told you not to put your hand in there. So he was doing that. So then maybe Dorsey is the translator to Allen, because we saw him have a vast improvement throughout the year. Allen, I'm talking about.
Okay.
You talk about
this is getting into debatable territory.
Well, you talk about the first 10 games, just how things that he would do in the last 5 games that he played.
Yeah, when
a 10-7 touchdown ratio versus a 10-2 touchdown ratio to interception.
I'm pretty sure that they just left pretzels on the ground for Dable to follow until he got up into the booth, and then they said, "You just stay here now."
Okay, well, he did go in the booth. That was a change, and that may have been a warning shot to Dable that, hey, you may be gone. You need to change something. Fix it.
And it's amazing, right? Because we can look at it and say it was a very rough start to the season, and the rest of the NFL is saying, well, Dable's going to get head coaching interviews.
Yeah, because they look at it a different way. I mean, I took my foot off the gas pedal as far as Dable goes, because I saw a lot of reads that Allen was missing. So I took my foot off the gas. But then I realized, wait, am I more upset with Allen missing the read, or am I more upset with, why is this play being called? What is the effectiveness of this play? Why on a 3rd and 7, when you've been blitzed the entire year, are you not trying to put your quarterback in a position to handle that blitz or audible out? What are you doing to him? So what do? You keep a 3rd and 7. You keep the fact that you get 3rd and 7s. But what do? You run a hurry-up offense so you could talk to him before he has to snap the ball. Hey, if they come off the left side, they're going to be doing this. You may want to check down to this. And it cuts out. Then Allen changes the play. So we can't officially, and if there's anyone else that tells you that they know, they don't. We can't officially
That's
tell you if Allen changed the play,
Mm-hmm.
if that was the play that was called in the huddle, if that was what Dable wanted to run, if you gave him a check with me, if you gave him 2 plays, he made a decision, he made the wrong read. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And anyone that says they do, don't listen to them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to tell you, we
Right.
can only take what the result was.
Right.
Okay. If this was the play call and the concept, he should have went here and he went here. Why did he go there?
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. We don't know if Dable told him to go there or
Right.
that was the read that he saw.
Right.
So we can make the best guess that we can.
And Gregory Mann actually brings up 1 turnover isn't bad from Allen. We need a couple more picks on the defense. The defense didn't generate any turnovers. The Texans really kind of played it pretty close to the vest. The Bills need possessions, right? And the possessions that they had, they kick field goals. And Grendel mentions it. He's like, you don't play to tie. Well, they didn't play to tie, but it was a 4th and 27 that forced them into it, right? And again, if I'm them, I don't do what they did.
No.
Right? I take it. I do what they tried to do. I can't believe Allen missed Duke Williams on that
Oh my God.
lazy
It was
pass.
so silly.
Oh my God. I was so frustrated.
But yeah, it's disappointing because it's a loss and you don't know what's going on. There's a lot of easy missed throws that he didn't do. And,
Defense had a fumble recovery.
but the indecisiveness of Allen when he fumbled is
Mhm.
what bothered me. Because once he broke the pocket, he should have just ran.
Mhm.
Just go. All right. I would have went 1-2 read, 1 read, 2 read. Just get out of the pocket. Just run. Get as much as you can. Okay. Because you know what? If you run and slide,
Mm-hmm.
they have to make a decision. If they decide to spy you, that's taking a guy out of coverage
Mm-hmm.
of an already weak secondary.
Yeah.
Run the damn ball.
Right.
I just wanted to mention real quick, if there's anyone, should we mention the road trip?
No.
No,
Mm-mm.
shouldn't tell them about road trip.
Mm-mm.
They like road trip.
No.
The channel.
No.
Why?
We haven't put a video on there in like 6 months.
That's my point. Never mind.
Ignore what he's going to talk about.
Okay, I'm not gonna say it because you're being rude. No, I was kidding. But I mean, keeping up with that theme, like I said, you can assess blame everywhere. But unless we actually know what the call was and what he read, and we're never gonna know that, it's hard to assess 100% blame here, 100% blame there. That's why I split it up.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've seen things on film that are kind of ridiculous, and I've seen calls that came out that were like, "Why are you calling that?" Like today, we mentioned it. They ran a play. They had a false start penalty. I think it was the start of the second quarter. It was a 2nd and 3. They came out. McKenzie motioned up.
Mm-hmm.
False start. 2nd and 8. They ran the same play.
Same play. Yep.
Same exact play.
Yep.
Hashtag Road Trip Channel covers the NFL.
I knew
Good
you were
watch.
going to read it. As soon as I saw the comment, I was like,
Thanks,
he's just going
Farner.
to tell him anyway.
No, but it's how much, because maybe we're giving the defense a pass here. Because we've talked about the offense for quite a bit. You give the defense a pass, missed tackles.
There were a bunch
They're
of
not
mistakes.
turning the ball over, except for the Trey White. You know, was that the only turnover? When he knocked it out? Because Watson didn't throw any picks. That was the only
defensive
turnover.
covered a fumble.
Yeah, that was the Trey White one.
Yeah.
That was the only turnover, though, of the whole game. You let Watson go 20 for 25.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I told Paul this too. If you want to take a silver lining out of this is a team in the Texans. This is probably it probably make you feel better, probably make you more disappointed. They beat the brakes off of New England.
Yeah.
They went to Kansas City and beat them.
Yep.
They needed to go to overtime to beat the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bills were shutting them out at the half. So this isn't a team that's, although their defense by the numbers is not very good,
Mm-hmm.
but this team is a very good team. And it took to overtime for them to beat the Bills in a playoff game. So I guess take from that what you want, I guess. I'm not going to say moral victory, but I'm just going to take from that what you want.
And Donnybrook comes back and is like, well, the Broncos kicked the Texans. So take that for what it's worth.
Hey, everybody has an off week.
Oh, God.
That was their bye week. That's right.
In-game adjustments
So
are
weird.
concerning, though, right? And
They
the
are.
defense, I thought, the defense started giving the Texans some room. And I personally don't believe in that, right? I don't personally believe in letting a team get yardage, right? I get the teams do it, but I don't personally believe in it. You held them to, 81 yards in the first half? They only had 81 offensive yards in the first half. Why are you allowing them to get yards? Why are you saying, well, it's okay if they score a touchdown here. Oh, it's okay if they kick a field goal. No, it's not. You play to win. That's it. You play to win the game. You know what's working. You continue to do that. And when they start playing off coverage and kind of opening things up underneath for Houston, it was frustrating to watch because you kind of know where this goes. You know where that rabbit hole ends. Mm-hmm. And I just don't think you do that. I don't think you get soft. You keep playing heavy. You keep playing hard. That's it. You try and generate turnovers. You try and generate possessions because you're a wide receiver threw a touchdown pass for you today, and you kicked 3 field goals.
Mm-hmm.
4 field goals. Excuse me.
Yeah.
That's how your day went. That's not a good enough day for me.
Gregory, man. At least it's not as embarrassing as 28-3. Can you imagine being a Falcons fan after that?
Oh God, no.
It's the worst.
No.
I saw a picture the other day. It had a thing at Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
Had a bunch of Atlanta Falcons footballs. It was $2.83. Oh, that's funny. Shut up. That's funny.
Oh God, stop it.
Where's all of our hashtag merch? Where we put it? Where is it?
Merch.
We got merch coming.
Whatever, man.
I think Steve Hampton, you think this becomes a lesson in finishing teams off for next season? I think that the mantra for next year for 2020 should be close the deal. I would make shirts that said that for the Bills. Close the deal. Close it out. Stop trying to just.
Well, how many games this season were we like? It was the cardiac Bills. Like
every game. But it was more that they were coming back. They were coming back. There were some games they had the lead.
Right.
And they let the teams creep back in. Close the deal.
Mm-hmm.
CTD, man.
Same man. One positive today. Hauschka was clutch.
Hauschka was
on fire today. On fire. And we could be disappointed. You know, expectations cause that, right? We all had expectations that this was going to go differently. Mm-hmm. I was 100% convinced that the Bills were going to win this football game. I had no problem believing it. Bills were up by a bunch at half. I'm like, okay, we're good to go. Let's go. Let's on to next week. We just saw that in the chat. On to Baltimore.
On to Baltimore. Yeah.
Young
King even said in the chat. He said, "Listen, our cornerbacks were given too much distance."
Mm-hmm.
I think that was just from being up 16-0.
Right.
You don't want to give up one big play. Houston had to earn that drive. I want to say that drive was like 4.5 minutes long, maybe 5.
Justin says 3,000. Hey guys, devoting countless hours of your life to watching other guys play games, a pathetic waste of time. I'll hang up and listen to your answers. No, it is not, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm looking at 144 other people who are hanging out with us just talking football. This is a waste of time.
No, it's not a waste of time. When I watch YouTube videos of guys playing video games,
that's a waste of time. Yeah, that's fair. I'll take that. That's fine. So I think we should wrap this up, Mar.
Let's do it.
You know, it's again, I want to remind everybody, thank you again for an awesome season. You know, here at Hashtag Sports, it's been a riot. Thank you again to everybody in Hashtag Nation. If you want to win this autographed Trey White Goalie Academy helmet,
yes,
which I have right here. It's right here. There we go. You want to win this autographed Trey White custom Goalie Academy helmet. The link is in the description. So that's what you guys can do. So when is the Ride in the Car contest? Yeah, you talked about this. You die on that sword. You go right ahead.
What?
The Ride in the Car contest. Go ahead. Come on.
When's the Ride in the Car contest?
I don't know. There we go. Thanks.
Well, I don't have official details, Paul. I hate saying stuff that's inaccurate. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a contest after the Trey White helmet is handed out. We're going to have another contest for you guys. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be along the similar type lines. Here's what it is. If you're local, okay, you will be invited to a Hashtag Sports Sunday Drive episode with Paul and I. Mm-hmm. Okay? We'll pick you up. We're going to go around and film an episode or two. And then, you know, maybe get you some donuts, some coffee.
So stop at Paula's
donuts and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And if you're the winner, and then we're going to drive you off, have you back home. And then for that week, you're going to be in all of Hashtag Sports episodes.
Right.
If you're not local, Okay, if you're not local,
Mm-hmm.
what we're going to do is you're going to be an honorary guest on a live stream with Paul and I when we do our
Right.
live streams for about an hour.
Yeah, usually.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Usually around 10 o'clock at night. So, but if you're like all over the globe, we understand that. We'll try to work around your schedule as best we can. You know what I mean? Because I know some of y'all, when we do a 10 o'clock stream at night, it's probably 3 in the morning. We wouldn't ask you to do that.
Yeah,
we would probably do something.
We'll work it around.
We'll figure it out. But we're going to have a contest for that as well.
So Masvid's had mentioned 13 and 8 the play clock at 0 for 2 solid seconds, no delay of game penalty. So we had talked about that because it's a hot button topic, right? We kind of wanted to wait until we saw the actual replay on the Game Pass to see how long it was really. I have to imagine the league is going to send a letter about it because it was something that was so obvious to us. But again, we're looking at the play clock on the broadcast, not the play clock in the stadium. So I'm going to tell you that it's not always perfect. So we want to wait till Game Pass comes out to see if it's really something we should be mad about. On the broadcast, with you 1,000,000,000%, something to be really pissed about. But until we have Game Pass where we'll actually be able to sync the two up, we just want to wait for it because we easily could get mad about it, but there's just probably no point in doing it right now.
So we got a thanks 22 entries already.
Oh, into the Trey White thing? Oh, there's going to be a lot more entries than that.
Are you going to be in the car next week, Thomas Camp? Yes, we're going to be in the car. Jack Patrick onto the draft, no doubt. Someone said, Old Fashioned Trousers, can you drive to Edinburgh, Scotland? The home of...
I don't think there's
the home
a road
of Sean
that goes
Connery. The home, that's where he was born.
Yeah.
I can't really drive out there. The water gets in my car too easily. But I can't do that. But like I said, if you're local, Buffalo area, Western New York, we're gonna go. If you're not, you get to be on a live stream with #sports if that's something you want to do.
Ty Party just asked, what do you guys think we should do in the upcoming draft? We have tons of off-season coverage for the draft,
Absolutely.
so you do not worry about that. We seeing anything now is a little short-sighted because the season's not over yet. Free agency still has to happen. Roster cuts, coaching changes, all that stuff makes a difference. So the Bills change offensive coordinators. Now you're looking at a totally different brand of player that somebody's going to be looking for.
Yeah.
So it really all there's a lot that goes into it.
We jokingly do our roster predictions in May, right after the draft.
Yeah.
It's fun just to try to see how accurate we were.
Yeah.
All those are in the vault, guys. You want to go to our page, and we have like 450 videos of just all Bills content. So if you can't get enough of that, if you like to see how wrong we were back in the day,
right,
by all means.
Yeah. One last question to kind of close this thing out because I think it's kind of a good one. It's from John Calvin. How willing are the Bills regarding moving on from Josh Allen? They are all in on Josh Allen. That is it. They are all in on Josh Allen.
Yeah.
And today might have been scary, and there might have been moments where the game got too big for him, which I think there were some banner moments where the game got too big for him.
Yes.
Right? But they are all in. They're all in on Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Very damn.
To put it really short, and I know you said you were going to close it, but I got to say this just so the nation knows this, and they probably heard us say this before. When you come to an organization as a GM, and then you have the coach, and then they draft their quarterback, their fates are all tied in together. So it's not just, we're going to move on from Allen and go get another quarterback. No. You said that we're going to give up this draft capital. We're going to give up this. We're going to trade back. They did all these pieces since 2017 to get Allen.
Right.
Bean and McDermott are tied into that too. So if Allen goes, be sure you know that the GM and the head coach may go too.
Well, exactly. That's their fates
They're
are
always
all
tied
together. They're tied together.
All
right, guys, we're going to wrap this up. Thank you for an amazing season here on Hashtag. We very much appreciate it. Obviously, at some point, every season ends with a loss, unless you're Super Bowl champions. There's only one team that gets to end with a win, so that's the way it goes. Thank you so much, guys. We very much appreciate it. Have a great one. And again, if you want to enter for the Trey White Goalie Academy helmet, the link is in the description. Please, we'd love to send it to you.
Yes.
It's one of a kind. You'll never find another one. And thank you again for a great season. We are still here. So anything you guys want, make sure you hit us up in the comments section.
This week, I'm going to try to do a quick live stream on Wednesday with you guys. But then, because we're not getting in the car this week, we're getting in the car next week. So after next week, you're going to have a full gamut of 5 days a week or 4 days a week episodes. So then you guys get to see. So anything you guys want us to talk about, any video you comment on, we'll get it.
Yep.
So just let us know.
All right.
You
Talk
guys
to you
are the
soon,
best.
guys.
Thank you.
Later.